Hello, welcome back. This is Mutiny Motorsport Season 12. Oh, I'm so happy to have you back. This is round 3 at the track pool here. We're going to pull out a track for our drivers for this weekend. Let's see what is pulled out of the hat right now. I'm pretty hopeful for some of these. Let's see what we got. We have Cordoba, number 2. Look at this fancy little track out in Argentina. Yeah, and it is 11 corners, 2.5 kilometers, just over 2.5 kilometers, and here is qualifying.
All right, so first up we have Debug, blistering pace. Then we got followed by Viltec, Guitar, then Nate Delta, John D, Alex, Shattered Compass, NDF, RD94, Old Boy Bob, Garrett, then Orange, Leclerc, Cloning, and Crack a Cold One.
It was close at the front. Debug and Viltec separated by, what is that, 0.05 of a second?
Yep, and TTR not too far behind that either.
Yeah, just a 10th behind that. And look at this gorgeous track today. Sun is out. The weather is out. It's looking scorchio out there. So the tires, the drivers are going to be thinking about their tires, and if they can keep them cool enough, and if they overheat them, what's going to be the problems with that?
Yeah, so it's a tight and twisty track, and it can definitely eat some tires with the sort of track temps we're seeing at 48 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, and it is the sprint, so it is a reverse grid. So that's why you're seeing Crack a Cold One lead the pack away as he crests over the hill down towards the start-finish line. What are they going? Oh, it's such a long way away. There's the line. The foot's down. Someone's already off and way out to the side. I think there was some confusion over the start then. And they are going round the first corner. Well, it all looks fairly tidy there. Oh, who's that in the background?
One of the Red Bulls.
Yeah, one of the Saubers for sure. It looks like Artie. He is at the bottom. If you look on the top left-hand side of your screen, you'll see Artie at the back.
Yep.
That is not where he wanted to be, spinning off. And here we got some GTAR Viltec action as Viltec goes down the inside. And just in front of him is Nate Delta. Ooh, it's looking spicy as they come round the first racing lap. Look at this gaggle of cars. Side-by-side action, 2x2. This is not Noah's Ark. This is Mutiny Motorsport. As Old Boy just disappearing off into the lead. He'll be loving that.
Yeah, he's 2 seconds ahead of Cloning already there. And I got to see Orange is right on his tail there, and as well as Garrett. You can see they're all making some moves already.
They are indeed. And round the outside of Orange is Garrett. Oh, what a beautiful move. Round the outside of turn 1, it's such a fast sweeping corner as you brake. Oh, and that looked like Cloning. Don't know if there was contact there or whether he just lost it under braking. Boops himself into the grass and out of the way. As we go back and join Artie, who's having to bring himself back through the field. It doesn't look like he's getting too much damage.
Yeah, we see Debug's dropped off, so he must have had an incident as well. He's no longer with that pack racing.
And there we go. That is now TTR making his way through the pack. Here we go, up the inside, rounds. Cloning down. Now, Cloning started in second in the sprint race and is already down to 12th, and Crack a Cold One down to 14th. Debug in last, as you've mentioned. So not the start for any of those guys that they were expecting, I think.
Yeah, it's been topsy-turvy one already, and some of that mid-pack found its way up to the front quite quickly for this one.
They did indeed, and I'm looking at that track map and the timing screens, and the Old Boy is storming away as we're looking at this midfield battle here. This is Shattered versus Orange and NDF, I believe. The fight for third place is heating up, and you can see it is 48 degrees, track temperature 33 air, so yeah, these little cars are screaming right now, praying for some cold air, but all they're getting in those little tiny air boxes is hot air coming off the car in front.
Yeah, and how you rotate the car around corners really influences a lot of this car's characteristics and how you keep that speed up. And with that variable changing because of these tires, it'll be interesting to see whose downforce configurations or how cleanly their driving influences that or not. As we see Viltec here taking it looks like a move around orange on the outside.
Yeah, orange slipping down through the pack. Not the start he was looking for, starting up a little bit higher than this. Viltec up into 8th, maybe just sussing out the driver in front. That is Alex in the Jaguar. And let's have a look at the lap times. You can tell the clean air is working. 101s for most people as Alex goes up the inside of Leclerc. Beautiful move there, textbook stuff. As Viltec in the background just thought about the inside of Leclerc and is now thinking wiser than that. As we're on board with him, you can see the steering going on in the car as he's holding onto it under traction. Braking into the tight left-hander, down the hill, takes a right-hander now. Comes into this midfield section here, and you can see this track isn't flat. You can see all the bumps from these camera angles. They're great here to see what is going on. There's lots for the drivers to be contending with out here as the marshals watch on for Debug, who gets round cloning and moves up into 13th place. And Viltec down the inside of Leclerc there. Can he hold on to it? This is T1. It's a fast right-hander. Yeah, looks like he does. Up into 7th place. Old Boy's still leading ahead of Garrett, but his lead is disappearing. Garrett's 1 minute 9 versus Old Boy ABC's 1015. Whoa.
Yeah, that T1's an interesting one. I think that's a place where we're going to see a lot of overtaking happening because you're coming into that straight. But those who are going to be willing to risk it and be a little more brave, sending it on that corner might net themselves some positive results, or find themselves going a little too deep and maybe triggering too many track limit warnings. It's a really risk-reward situation there.
It is, yeah. The track limits are just on the outside of the curb there, so you really have to be careful. You see drivers now. Let's see if we stay on board with NDF for turn 1. Right down the outside as far as you go, maybe onto the grass. Haul it in. We're on board with Nate Delta here. How's he going to cope? Follows the inside line. You can see him right the way over, and Alex just behind him going onto the blue runoff there. And that's about where your track limits are. But it's constant radius. It's such a difficult corner to get right at speed, especially with the pressure of the other cars behind you. As we see Orange and Leclerc fighting now for 9th place, and Orange gets through. Good work there.
Yeah, very good work.
Yeah, Leclerc, slow and steady, gets his points in the championship by playing it conservatively and just finishing. He knows to finish first, at least you have to finish. And so he takes that approach, and it works out really well.
This group here, between sorry to interrupt, but the group between 4 to 7, I think will be an interesting pack to watch. All 4 of those drivers are all very skilled, very fast, and not afraid to get aggressive. And it'll be interesting to see as we see like Nate here already applying a little pressure here to Shattered Compass.
Yeah, and Shattered isn't someone to bow under the pressure a lot. And we've seen, if you haven't watched last seasons, how amazing Nate came on as a driver. And we're seeing him now just start to get a grip with his car. It's looking like pace is looking good. It's as good as the leaders. As we're following on board in that beautiful, beautiful livery there. Benson and Hedges, Jordan F1 team livery. You can see, puts the power down, steers left in a right-hand corner over the crest. Brake hard, come through the chicane. Follow tightly, run over, don't go too wide on the track limits, right onto that blue AstroTurf. Come around the last corner, find all the traction that you can, all the grip that you can, all the area that you can, and hope you can get a boost down the straight in the slipstream. What's it going to be? It's going to be waiting for another lap. Oh, there's someone going wide there. It looks like Viltec maybe. Way out onto the AstroTurf, into the runoff there.
Yeah, I was just watching his times because the past 2 laps he was 1 second, 0.3 and 2 times now, and so it's a shame that he had that runoff there because I think he was about to add to the mix of this party heavily.
Yeah, he is indeed. As we are on board, and actually, you got to say, Oh boy, ABC 123 had a habit in his prior seasons, we have to say, of getting to the front and then slowly slipping back. But this is impressive stuff this season. Consistency level has gone up and up and up, and he's taken the lead, and he has not given it up yet. Even the might of Garrett O'Brien is not able to bring him back. And he's still about 2 seconds, and this is 9 laps deep, 10 laps deep. So we're coming through this sprint race right now. This is a great performance from the leader. Oh boy, managed to get there and is holding on as we're still on board with Nate being hounded by Alex, and we know how quick Alex is. Fearsome driver, and look how close he was getting there to the back of Nate. Absolutely nothing holding back. Now this track is a little bit tricky, isn't it? Where are the big braking zones to overtake? Where are the braking zones here?
So this is a big one you have coming up here, but then you have this big heavy left-hander, and so you can see him sitting a little in there, and and there we have the contact, because you want to kind of cut in as you're making that left, and then it seems like there's a window, but if you're coming in too late to that situation, that's going to happen exactly right there, where as you see, and as Viltec's trying to seize that moment as well.
Yeah, definitely going out wide there and holding onto the advantage, but there was contact there, and Nate having to deal with the consequences of that. Now, it isn't like Nate's fault. He did leave the door a little bit open, but now he's got to deal with the consequences even dearer, as he's got a Viltec sniffing up his inside. Down the inside he goes. Will he hold on to it? He's looking for clean air. He's going to stay on the inside as they approach turn 2. It looks like he's given up and waiting for another moment.
And this is the other big braking zone right there where they just went through, and it's a really interesting one, because these cars don't like to turn when braking. So, but you need to slow the car down and turn yourself in right while still slowing the car down enough, because even though it's an banked curve, you can't offload too much on the outside of your tires, because you'll lose too much on your exit. And it's a really critical spot, and we've seen some overtakes happen already there today.
We have indeed, as we're on board with NDF in 3rd place right now. And I tell you what, staying and keeping Garrett O'Brien in front of him, super honest. Remember, NDF has been very close to podiums. I believe he might even have a podium. I am not sure about that. I'll have to check the record book on that one. But been threatening some great performances, and here is one of them. Got the speed, got the consistency, keeping a nice tight line there. Into turn 2. Look at it, just feathering it. You can see, if you were watching in the cockpit there, he had a huge snap of oversteer. That is super common in these cars. It's going to cost him heat in the rear tires. Now he's got thinking, I got to be smooth, keep the tire temps under control. Where can I get him? Where can I get Garrett? Where's the chink in the armor here? But their lap times are so similar, looking at the top left of the screen. You got to think it's going to be pretty tough.
Well, if he keeps power sliding like that, he's not going to have any rear tires by the time this race is over. So we'll see if maybe it's just a matter of holding on and see if an opportunity comes from a mistake.
And it might well do. You never know. Keeping pressure on the driver in front of you is the best way. As Garrett is thinking, yeah, I got to go defensive. That's what pressure does. He's thinking, no, okay, I'm going to move back over to the racing line. He didn't make a bigger dent as I thought. Okay, and off for another day. And behind them is old boy ABC 123's teammate Shattered Compass, still trying to claw in the gap. But really, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all within 3 seconds of each other. And Viltec just joining the party there with John right behind him. This is a huge battle here. 5 seconds covering 2nd to 7th, 8th.
It's not something that's easily ignored in your mirrors, and I think with it being a sprint, whoa, there we go. That got a little hairy there. The inside line and a deeper line, and just managed to hold on. But you can see that train is building up now.
It is indeed. It is indeed, and the pressure will be building. It is a cork in the bottle situation. But if the pace is similar, what can you do? You either got to send a really brave move, and he's right in the slipstream. And you thought about it there, just a little show in the mirrors. And he's just saying to Garrett, hurry up if you want to keep that place. We got to both hustle here. And look how close it is now for 2nd place. 4 cars right in it. This is about to get spicy, everyone. Lap 14. There isn't much going left. There isn't much left. maybe another couple of minutes of racing, if that.
Yeah, and also NDF's thinking, I need to make sure I hold on to my third position and not lose it to Shattered Compass, and so I'm still a podium finish. Right, so and then, there could also be Garrett thinking in the front, well, maybe if I get away from them enough, that's all their problem to who's third and not who's second. So trying to position yourself in a way that could benefit in that way. It's not the easiest way to come by, but really just about racing your cleanest line possible. This point.
It is indeed, and the thing that can help you is just having good race experience and knowing, all right, queue's forming behind me, but like you said, it forms pressure to all the cars in that group, not just me. You can spread that experience, you can spread that tension over the whole pack there behind you and cause problems for the guy behind you, as it looks like Alex was maybe thinking about the inside on Shattered Compass. Didn't see how it looks, but they're still just separated by a hair's width. There they go. Is he going to go down the inside? No, he thinks I'm going to go out wide, cut in closer, get a better line through here. As it dips round, it kind of looks like it's even Stevens right now, but look at that. Wow. Even Viltech has joined right onto the back of this group now. We are coming into the last corners. Here comes Old Boy as he comes up the hill, over the crest, down the line, crosses the line, and he is the winner. Congratulations, Old Boy. What a performance there. We'll have to see if there's any stewards inquiries, but this looks like an absolute classic race. So much tension up and down the grid.
Yeah. Tension from second to sixth, seventh, all the way the entirety of the race, and not too much of a change. Everyone seemed to hold on to the positions, but still a really satisfying race.
They did indeed. And here are the race results. Old Boy with the win, 9 sprint points to him, with Garrett O'Brien second place there. NDF, well-deserved podium. Congratulations. Shattered Compass in fourth place, just off the podium, followed by Alex, Viltech, Nate Delta. They are your point scorers, and John D just outside of the points, less than half a second off them. Then we got 9th, we got Debug, 10th Leclerc, 11th Orange, Artium 12th, and Cloning in 13th. They're your finishers in the DNFs. We didn't see much of DTR just right at the beginning. DNF there and Crack a Cold One. The fastest lap point goes to Viltech, and driver of the day. You've got to obviously give it. How was the race for you?
Yeah, it was an exciting one to watch, and it was eventful in every sort of the way. It was a good time.
That is what it's all about in the Mutiny. So that was race 3 and the sprint. If you haven't been with us before, we've now got a feature race for you. It's the next video along. Go click that. Go see what happens now in the next feature race. Thank you very much for joining us.